Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I am going to be organizing or reorganizing, whatever you want to call it, my son's bedroom. He is 7 months old and I still do all of his laundry, and I feel like that's going to be the case for a long time. So the first things that I do when I organize his clothes, I usually put everything into the washer. Right now you can see that I have some new clothes that I got him, and I'm just taking the tags off of those. That way I can get those washed. And the reason why I need to organize his clothes is because if you guys have kids, then you know that they grow out of their clothes really fast. So he's 7 months and he's fitting into clothes that are between 6 and 9 months. He still fits in some six month stuff, and he fits in some 9 month stuff. And right now in his drawers and in his closet, I have all the way from I got his newborn and his premature because he was born a little early. I have those already packed away. So I already did this once. This is the second time that I'm reorganizing his clothes. So his preemie and his newborn are already put away, but this time I need to put away his 0 to 3 months and his 3 months clothes. He is not fitting in any of those at the moment because he is 7 months old now. So he fits in currently some 6 months, perfectly in 6 to 9 months, and then some 9 months clothes he's fitting in already. And he's growing right on schedule, which is a good thing. I don't know, you guys don't know this. I will just give you a little bit of a story of how he was born and things like that. So he was born a little early. He was born 6 weeks early, and I went into premature labor because I had a placental abruption, which was scary, but we didn't know what it was at the time that I had went into labor early. But when he was born, he was 6 ounces or 6 pounds on even, and he had to be in the NICU, not for oxygen or UV therapy or anything like that. He was in the NICU for 18 days because he didn't have the stamina to eat all of his bottles. He would fall asleep before he would finish his bottles. So that was very frustrating. And then another thing that I guess we didn't know this, but I guess premature babies do this, that for whatever reason, they'll be sleeping or eating. Usually when this happens, this is when it happened to Easton, usually when he was eating at the very end of the bottle. I told you guys he got really sleepy, so he would fall asleep at the end of his bottle. But anyways, they call them events. It's where their oxygen or their heart rate drops really, really dangerously kind of low. I don't remember the exact numbers of like what they would drop to. I think it's like his oxygen would have to be less than 70%, and his heart rate would have to go below 80, I think. I can't remember everything because I blocked out a lot from that visit. But he only did that, I think, twice. And if you get an event, then you have to stay like 5 days longer in the NICU. So on top of him not having the stamina to eat and falling asleep on his bottles and then having those 2 events, it did make us stay in the NICU for about 18 days. He also had an NG tube. It was a tube that went through his nose down to his stomach. So that way, if he did fall asleep and he couldn't finish his bottles, that way we could still give him the formula or I was also I was pumping at the time, or breast milk. We can make sure that he got all of his food. But anyways, that's all done with. He's perfectly healthy now, and he's meeting most of his milestones, if not all of them, right on target. They say, like, since he was premature, they say that you should go by his adjusted age, not his actual birthday age. So his adjusted age since he is 7 months, he would really be 5.5 since he was 6 weeks early. That's like an example. So instead of like tracking a 7-month-old milestones, I should be looking at like what a 5.5-month-old baby is doing. And he's doing fantastic. I mean, if you saw a picture of him, which you guys won't see a picture of him, but if you guys saw what he looked like in the NICU when he was first born, he didn't look like a NICU baby at all. He didn't look like a premature baby, and it was probably because I did have gestational diabetes when I was pregnant that got diagnosed really, really late. So I was 33 weeks when I found out that I was 32 weeks when I found out that I had gestational diabetes, and I didn't. So we found out at 32 weeks, and then I went to preterm labor 33 weeks, and at that 33 week, I was in and out of the hospital, I think 4 times before we finally gave birth, and I was 34 weeks when I gave birth at that time. I had to get a magnesium drip, which lasted 24 hours, and if you guys have ever been on magnesium before, it can make you feel really just out of it, and it can make you feel really warm and just not feel the best. My magnesium drip, it caused like phlebitis in my veins. Like it felt like a fire was inside my skin. Like not like if you were to get burned on the outside of your skin, like the magnesium drip, it felt like fire inside of my arm, if that makes any sense. But it caused a lot of issues with my veins over probably the next couple months. I didn't have like full function of the veins in my arm. And then I also got, while I was in and out of the hospital, I got 2 steroid shots, and what they were for is I can't remember all of the technical terms that, like the medical terminology that the staff used when we were in the hospital, because I told you guys I did block out a lot of this. But when I was in the hospital, I had the magnesium drip, and then I also had 2 steroid injections in my hips, and that was to help with lung development, like surfactant, I think, with my son's lungs, to help him be able to breathe better, so if he was premature. So instead of being like, he was born at 34 weeks, his lungs were basically developed 35 weeks at that point. So he didn't need any oxygen when he came out. He didn't need any UV lights. He did get an IV, and he did get some fluids, which were fine. They needed to do what they needed to do to keep him, good. But yeah, he did fantastic. And I just wanted to tell you guys that little story of my almost traumatic. I mean, it was a little traumatic. I was not expecting to go into preterm labor. I mean, who does? But I wanted to tell you guys that just so you got to know me a little bit better. And I think it went well with this video, since this is about my son's clothes and reorganizing it. I guess it's not totally relevant, but I just wanted to let you guys know, so that way we can all be, getting to know each other. So right now I am just taking the clothes out of the dryer, and we're going to fold all of these clothes. It's a mound of clothes. I usually don't wait this long to wash his clothes, but I have been really busy, especially with all the renovations that we're doing. I know I used this as an excuse in my last video, but especially with all the renovations that we've been doing in our house, I haven't had the time to work on folding or washing any of his clothes. But he does have quite a bit, so I was able to go through a lot before I was like, okay, it's time. I really do need to wash his clothes. So that is what I'm doing here. Actually, I'm folding them in this clip so you can see me folding them. I have a very specific and certain way that I fold his clothes. And it just works best for me. I don't know if I'll keep this up long term, but I fold my clothes very specific and uniquely. And that probably stems because I worked at Hollister when I was a teenager. But anyways, I am putting all of his clothes that are like sizes, putting all of his clothes that are the same size with the same size. So like with like. So all of the 6 months are in the same bin. All of his 3 months are put in the boxes. That's how I normally like to do it. And then I put all like his clothes that have conjoining outfits. I don't know if conjoining, that's not the right word I'm looking for. It's really late, just like the last video I did. It's 10:30 and I probably should go to bed here soon. But all of his outfits that have extra pieces, I guess, that goes with them, that have matching pieces, I should say. I have these little ring clips. They look like, or they are like little clips that you would use for curtains, but I actually put them on these hangers with his clothes, and I'll hang like his socks and his little hats and his little pants that all match in the same outfit. So that is what I'm doing here. I'm just organizing through it and making sure that all of his outfits match, and putting them all on hangers. As far as, I know we were kind of talking about my birth story, but when I was going through and putting everything in those pamper boxes, that was his old clothes. That was his 0 to 3 and 3 months clothes that I was putting in boxes. I'm not going to sell them or donate them or get rid of them. I probably will keep them, I don't know, forever. They're so sentimental. I don't know how you can get rid of. I definitely am a sentimental person. I can't really get rid of things if like they mean something to me, or if somebody's gifted to me and I think about that person when I see it, or if I think of an experience I had when I, bought this or wore this or whatever. I am a very sentimental person, so I don't know if I could get rid of his clothes. But anyways, I have them in boxes, and eventually I'm going to be putting them into totes. But for now, I think the pamper boxes work fine, and then they'll go down into the basement. We do plan on having another baby sometime soon, not probably the end of this year, hopefully, if everything goes well. But if it's a boy, because I have a boy now, people was like, oh, you could just reuse his clothes that you have now, and I don't think I can do that. These clothes were Easton's clothes. Easton's is my son's name, and I don't know. I'm just very sentimental, so I don't know if I can give them up. But I would want my new baby to have their clothes, separate and separate. You guys have to tell me what you guys did if you have kids, and if you had a second kid. Did you donate their clothes, or did you let it, hand-me-downs or things like that? I, growing up, never had hand-me-downs. My sister and I have about a 7-year age gap. And then my younger sister and I are 15 months apart, so we shared a lot of clothes. We shared a bedroom, and we shared a lot of clothes. So that none of my sisters had any hand-me-downs. But anyways, I am just, rambling on in this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed this little, video, and hopefully it gave you guys motivation to organize some of your spaces. Maybe some of you guys don't have kids, but if you didn't, that's fine. Maybe you enjoyed me rambling and listening to my stories and my traumatic birthing experience, and, getting to know each other. So I really do appreciate that, and I appreciate you guys. I just wanted to say thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.